Well, hello, and welcome to the sixth episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Currently, we are now at a crossroads. I think we've exited the learn to play stage, and we have entered the oh, sorry, I'm just surrounded by cats right now. We have entered the role-playing possible stage. God. Okay, so alright, let me just put on some music. Then we should be good. I can set up a little playlist. I believe it's public on YouTube, but a streaming playlist with some Soviet and other jazz. And obviously some library music. Because I wanted to have that sweet, elevator music going on as well. Soviet elevator music. Alright, we're ready. Now, when it comes to where we are, we need to take a current stock of the affairs in the Republic. In fact, do we have a name for the Republic? Probably not. Oh, hello, Cleo. Sorry, cats. So we've had 142 births this month alone. Holy shit, we need some new housing. Well, let's take a look at our income for this month as well. Nearly 200,000 in this month, rubles, that is, that we brought from exporting. And that's from exporting power. That's from exporting oil. A lot of that is from fuel. 160,000 rubles of that is from fuel. Some of it is booze. A little bit of it is food. And then 36,000 is bitumen. Now the reason for that is that I fucked up. Alright, this is our oil refinery, and as you can see, there are three possible outputs, three pipelines out, and these are meant to house fuel and bitumen respectively, which means that when you build them, you're supposed to select the store this item on bitumen and fuel respectively. Otherwise, you will just get one or the other stored in those tanks in perpetuity, and you can't empty the tank to replace it. So I've accidentally set up a situation where I have no ability to store bitumen, so I just have to export it, because I can't produce enough asphalt to get rid of it all. I've also flattened out this area with my construction office, some excavators and bulldozers. I flattened out this whole area to the which way is north? I'll call this north, to the east of the oil processing plant, so that I could build a neighborhood here. And the goal is that eventually I'll have built out the entire neighborhood, lots of housing that will help properly man the oil refinery, and I'll be able to use the buses to bus them into the center of the city so that they can help contribute with everything else. As you can see, we've got a goodly amount of people who have actually gone through college. Average lifespan is currently over 87, which I'm happy about. Average age is 31 and a half. That used to be 20. So obviously there has been a bit of an aging population going on. We currently have 200 unemployed workers. I guess honestly that must just be like a few workers here and there everywhere. Who aren't properly going to the right bus stations and stuff. That number seems to fluctuate quite a bit, so I'm not too worried about it. Everyone has free access to food and healthcare, so it doesn't really matter too much to me. We have a sizable amount of electronics, but we are not producing any of those electronics, so all of that is people who have bought them from outside of the country, and by that I mean we have bought them from outside of the country and are distributing them to our people, so our income there is being spilling out of the country. Education-wise, as you can see, we now have 2,000 university-educated people and 4,500 basic educated people. So I'm pretty happy with those numbers. That means that, you know, with the no education, that number keeps going down, and I'm sure most of those are the children and third world people. So I have also set up successfully a train line between this small train platform and this central one for Warstock. And I believe, I'm not sure which train this is. This is, oh yeah, this is the one. It's currently empty. Oh, they have finally added the copy schedule from another vehicle. They have done it. Thank you. There was a new update for which I am a beta player. And, oh, there you go. There's all the people who were on the train line who are getting off. But now we can finally copy lines between different vehicles. And the way it seems to work, yes, so you can click another vehicle and it will copy its line from that other vehicle. So set up one and then you click all the subsequent vehicles and tap it, and then you tell them all to go from the depot. Is there a way to tell them all to leave from the depot at once still? No, there is not. Not yet. Hopefully soon. But the university is doing well. Do we have any residents in the residence halls? We have 2. Yeah, sorry, they can't go to fucking church that we don't have yet. We're never going to be able to have, sorry. There is no Christian student union at this university. Alright, well, we are now in the we can construct a lot of things for ourselves stage of our development. We don't have any way to build electronic components, so we can't actually build these street lamp roads for ourselves. Which means I have to buy them. I mean, I could set up people to just work until we get to the electronic components segment and then buy it, but that's just too much time. Oof. Oof. Oh, that's gonna be a lot. Construction of these roads is pretty pricey, and it's based off of, I believe, a set value for just laying out any construction, and then additional per distance, which is a problem here because there are lots of tiny little segments that are each going to be about 1,000 rather than one, say, 5,000. Is that the same for the little driveways? Yes, that is the same for each little driveway. You know what? we can afford it. Now, what I have learned is that it's just better to build that as a dirt or gravel road at first and then upgrade it. So, food for thought in the future. That is what I will do when I'm planning these neighborhoods out. Now, also, it is important when you're laying neighborhoods out that you build, that you flatten the terrain first, then you plan out your buildings, and then you lay out roads, because you can lay out roads closer to buildings, and you can build buildings to roads. It's just like a little quirk. Yeah, that I can build with by ourselves. So let's play. Let's see what's happened. All right, good. I didn't build that. Shit. Oh yeah, I remember there was a reason I didn't do that the first time around. Alright, well, now we've got our relatively compact neighborhood, and we can always add to that. We have all of this area down here to add, but each one of these should be relatively simple for us to construct ourselves. But what my goal is going to be is to construct the supporting buildings, or at least the grocery store first, so that people don't move in. Oh, there's no point in... it's just bricks. So what I'll do is I'll start constructing. How much is it? $3,000. Alright, after this, all of the housing is going to be, we build it ourselves. Oh shit! No, cancel contract. I didn't mean for that. What the fuck? No. Where the hell is that? So yeah, I just took back what I said. Now that I've got the grocery store, I'm not too concerned about, you know, building the services out first. But, you know, it's come to my attention that there has been a little bit of mismanagement in our republic, a little bit of wrecking. The planning committee, being as it is, the planning committee is apparently like one person in some fucking apartment just sort of doodling out what he thought would be cool for a Soviet republic. That it is not, if, oh my god, they have passing now? Is that real? I believe they have passing now. That's new. They do. Holy shit. And it's dangerous. People are doing that right in front of oncoming traffic. Oh my god. Eek. Tragically, we still only have... Yeah, we still only have the 2-lane roads. But, so our planning committee is pretty sad. They need a new, a new proper space for them to do their work, and we are going to provide them the necessary space to make the proper central plans needed in order to grow the dictatorship of the proletariat. So, in order to do that, we are going to build a new city, a new capital here that will house the headquarters of our party. It will also house a TV station, a radio station, probably have a medical university, and eventually we'll be using the same space to build things like our plastics facilities, but and electronics. But obviously that is not going to be constructed within this 5-year plan. That's for the next 5-year plan. It's already 63, and we still haven't quite met our population quota. Instead, what we're going to do for this year's plan, this 5-year plan, is that I have come to a realization that despite what people have said about housing as many farms with as few agro farms as possible, and technically that does save on costs, agro farms can only house a certain number of vehicles, right? And as a result, these farms end up full of tons and tons of crops that are not being officially transported back to our agro farm. If we look over at our resource status, crops. Oh shit, we do not have that many crops right now. I guess we're in between harvests. That's a bad sign. But I've seen situations where there have been hundreds of tons of crops in these farms, and they're just sitting there because there simply aren't enough trucks. Shit, well... Either way, we could use some extra crops in order to bring in more income. While we are food self-sufficient by more than enough, we are not able to export our booze as efficiently as one might hope. We simply do not have enough crops to support that properly. So, the question becomes, how the fuck are we gonna do this? I just want to know beforehand if I were to build, say that. Oh, fuck. Okay, so that's gonna be a lot. And if we choose not to auto-build that, how much is that from resources? Oh. Prefab panels. Oh, that's a lot of steel. Okay, so we're not building that second farm project in Farmtown that I had planned until we get steel production, which means that steel has been a consistent limiting factor in our ability to become self-sufficient. So we are going to we're just gonna buy, we're gonna find iron. In fact, if we come here and we take a look at this, iron ore. How much is iron ore? That's actually helpful. I didn't notice that. List of trains. That's probably more helpful. Okay. Anyway, economy and trade, prices, and iron ore. 14.5 rubles to purchase, and then iron itself is worth 41. Alright, and then steel 600. I see. So what we're going to want to do is, if we can't mine iron, we'll just import it. It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. We're just going to import iron and make steel. But sadly, I managed to develop a real need to fucking piss. So I'll be back. And when I am, we're going to do this. We're going to build the iron mill, and we're going to finally learn how the steel was tempered. Great, I'm making references to fucking Maxim Gorky now. Actually, I don't think it's Maxim Gorky. It's just like social realist. Socialist realist. Alright. So, I thought about it. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to build a new small town. Actually, that's a terrible idea. I just said that so that I could, like, see if it stuck. It did not. I suppose... Ahaha, yes! I could build the facility out here, and then just make use of the fact that I have, all of these people here who already have... Yeah, I already have the infrastructure in place. I just build, like, something so that they can eventually ship that. Shit! How did this happen? Now the thing is... Shit. Huh. Actually, now that I think about it, this doesn't make much sense, does it? If anything, I should not have that signal there if my passing lane is right there. So I'm going to turn you around I'm going to cancel the signal there. And I've taken a look at it, and the roadmap does say that we will have proper signaling relatively soon. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to have you go back for now. He's going to go there, I'm going to wait till he gets there, and then I'm going to turn him around and send him to his proper destination. I wish there was a halt button. That would also be nice, just to please fucking stop, because currently there isn't a halt button, and it I didn't realize how useful it was in other transport games, but it's, oh shit, I fucked those signals up, didn't I? Or no, I didn't. Okay, I'm gonna wait till he's on the proper track. Now go where you belong, son. I think I clicked that an odd number of times. So note to self, don't fucking put signals where you can't properly have people stop. But generally I've managed to optimize my lines relatively well. Obviously the use of more, what's the word, complex signal work would be helpful, but in the meantime, just using the block signals everywhere, I mean, that's what most people do when they're only playing OpenTTD. Did I really do that? That's a horrible idea. I mean, I realize it's never gonna come up because things don't have to return to depots very often, but what a shitty idea. Okay. If anything, it would make more... No. Actually, yeah. No, it's better. Better to just sort of have everyone wait so I don't have pile-ups right here. Alright. Now, obviously I've sort of overstretched my construction office. And I'm tempted to build a new one. But I actually had a moment where I hadn't, and by a moment, I mean the past couple of episodes, I didn't really understand that if you're not exporting 100% of power possible to export, your coal station is simply not going to produce a lot of power, and furthermore is not going to export much. So I kept dealing with these weird little power outages, and I thought that was due to a lack of power. It was not. Those flickering lights were due to the fact that I was overstretching my substations, and they were constantly having blowouts or rationing power so that they didn't break and blow up. So anyway, what happened is that I kept importing power for a while and ended up losing a huge amount of the cash reserves for the Republic, which is one of the many reasons that I'm currently considering having a new group of people be responsible for central planning. And by new group of people, I primarily mean you, the humble viewer. Okay. Nice. So we've actually got the tower crane on location here, doing some vertical work on the construction. and as you can see, we properly got all of the trains going. This is as efficient as this system is going to get right here. I guess I could have a little passing lane here, but there's just not a lot of space. And you know, in real life, there's plenty of inefficiencies when it comes to passing lanes. Nothing is like double tracked the whole way through like you see in OpenTTD, just because it's not possible in a lot of cases. This little neighborhood, what do they need? They need jobs. What the fuck? Just go to the bus station. Oh, there is like several hundred people at the bus station. Okay. Food factory. Alright, where is he going? I guess he's... Yeah, he doesn't have any students, weirdly enough. Okay. Well... what I'm really unsure of is like... 16... No, some of these people have a lifespan of like 90. That's pretty cool. I don't plan on living that long. Oh shit, some of them are like 70. Damn. It's so weird knowing how long their lifespan is. That is, of course, assuming they don't get killed in an accident or a fire. Which happens. I mean, I try to make it not happen. With it inadequate health care and fire rescue system, but you know, nothing's perfect. Alright, well, let's take a look. If I have any active users, you better tell me if like this music is just too loud. I have 1, maybe 2 at one point. Alright, if you happen to be watching this, please tell me. Please let me know. I made fun of someone because on Twitter they said that Venezuela's economy was centrally planned. This was a liberal who was attacking it, and I said, you know, central planning is when your economy is 70% private. They didn't like it. They weren't happy with me. Now, I did not think about this, but apparently having multiple excavators makes this faster. And for the sake of you, the humble viewer, I'm about to waste some of the valuable fucking resources of the People's Republic by buying some more excavators so that this just goes faster, because this is such a mind... Oh shit. That one. 2. There we go. 2 E1011s. Sorry, 10,011s. Or sorry, 111 D. I'm trying to think of like the most pleasing way to say that. But anyway, I'm gonna flatten out this area and let's just take a look. How big is this? I imagine it's gonna be, yeah, it's pretty whopping. Pretty chungo. Alright. Now the only problem with this, the reason I've been hesitant to do something like this is that because we're a distance from wherever we could actually properly build iron mines correctly, it's gonna be a pain later on to retrofit this system. But I think what I'm gonna end up doing is building a whole bunch of like or at least, sorry, 1 or 2 good iron mines out here, right? And then I will ship those via train, even though it's the ugly way, up here. And I'll double track that, don't you worry. And then I'll just use like the aggregate unloading train station in order to handle that. Shit, so there are actually passenger, sorry, not passenger, footpath entrances there, so it would probably be smarter to also connect that to either a train or bus station. How many people does that require when you're working it? 15. Yeah, so bus there. And then I'm guessing the steel plant is like 500. Steel mill. Yeah, 500 fuckers. Okay. This is gonna require a small town. And it needs iron, coal, and power. Alright. It's got three whopping train connections. Which I imagine are only cargo train connections. Fuck. It would be really cool of them if those train connections could be cargo or people. But I'm not an idiot. It's also got a whole lot of connections where we could use, it's no longer aggregate at that point, it's just open storage, so we have to consider all of this, I guess, because otherwise I will have failed as my job as a planner, and I'm liable to be widely detested as incompetent and probably removed from the program. Alright. So I'd like to get this close to the town for obvious reasons. Is this gonna be enough space overall? Well, I guess what I can do if I build that there, right? Sorry, like steel mill. Oh shit! It's got high voltage connection. Okay, so let's think about this. This is gonna be a big project. Perhaps we just bid on too much, because this is gonna be a much bigger deal than an oil refinery, in my opinion. But let's say we've got our ore processing plant there, right? Yeah. And then what we can do later is have the train aggregate unloading that way. So it will unload coal and iron there. So if I build that there, see, much faster now that I've got 2 excavators working on it. Anyway, the point is that the liberal on Twitter eventually like complained to me, and they were like, "Oh, thanks for your arbitrary definition that 70% of the economy being private means that it's not centrally planned." And I was like, "Okay, you're welcome." Like, what the fuck? Are you even still trying at that point? Like, I get it. I think that there's a point where you can still call Venezuela's economy, less so its economy, but say that it's a socialist country, because it's still led by socialists with the goal of being to produce a workers' state that is ultimately free of bourgeois power. Shit, this is gonna require 60 megawatts. Okay, keep that in mind. 60 megawatts. But it's a whole different ball game when you then try to claim that it is on top of that somehow literally centrally planned, which is just not right. Wait, why did I do train unloading? What was I thinking? You don't need train I guess that's for later. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I was just sort of not paying attention to what I was doing. Yeah. Later on, that's going to be important, so I shouldn't be making fun of it just yet. I do not like the placement of the roads there. That's a horrible idea. This is going to be a mega project in a lot of senses. And this is eventually going to need a whole town, a whole fucking city to properly handle it. This was not a small thing. I thought this was going to be as simple as an oil refinery. This is what I get for not really looking into it. Okay. Okay. Now that we've done that, we're gonna need some sort of roads here. Oh, shit. But I had to line it up this way because all of the inputs are here, so don't yell at me. I guess I didn't spend anything on it. I wouldn't mind blowing it up. Because I'm thinking, now that I've put it there, why isn't it just there? I can use conveyor engine transfers to move the conveyors exactly wherever I fucking want them. As long as they're not too close. Okay. Luckily, when you're paused and working from your own funds, you don't even spend money on fuel in order to terraform. It's totally free. So and you know what, this is closer to the town anyway. And the idea is that eventually what we can do, and I'll just plot it out. What I guess I can do is I'll delete that little conveyor, rebuild it after I've already built this. And then, you know. No, I don't know. Fuck, that's so ugly. Okay. There we go. It did it for a second there. Oh my god. Why is that so bad? Oh no. It's just aesthetics. And then I'll do something else where I'll have an open storage. Hug. I think that'll do it. That'll work for me, more or less. How much would this cost? Because that's a lot of steel. We don't have mechanical components. Oh, fuck. Okay. So, that's going to be a little bit of time coming. That, on the other hand, I can do. Alright. Eventually, we'll also be manufacturing our own mechanical components, and I'm thinking I may as well just keep that at this town rather than moving it down with the electronics down there, even though I will need at some point to ship the mechanical components down there in order to make actual consumer electronics. I'm also going to build another construction office. It's only 7,000. It will come in handy, and it'll be much faster once I've got two. Because there's one then to actually... Oh god, I need it to be daytime. Because then the idea is that you have one construction office that will only ship goods, and another that will actually bring people, you know, workers and resources in the Soviet Republic. And I'll build it just outside of town here. Whoops. Now, the biggest cost there will not be the construction office, but rather the mechanisms, the mechanics. Hopefully now with all this construction we won't have any unemployed people. We're also going to be able to set many more yeah, it doesn't matter quite as much. Alright, we're going to want people from there. People from... I think you can only set one. Alright. Now we can see it is sending out buses already. And let's send over at least one of these. We'll mount it in an open haul truck so that it's not just driving at its super slow, you know, excavator speed. Alright. Load onto that boy. Wait, do I need to... Did I do it right? No. There we go. I'm just an idiot. Alright, now you are going to, from now on, work here. Why does that song seem familiar? Seems Genesis-like, if anything. Oh, whoops, not Source. Here we go. does it need at this stage? Concrete, gravel, asphalt. I may as well add those here. Now the asphalt plant. Lastly, we need concrete. We still don't have any bricks, but bricks are, you know, from coal, so we would need to add something here, which I don't think there's space for necessarily. I suppose we could just ship it down like we're currently doing, but I mean we were already overstraining our power plants, so not necessarily the wisest choice in my eyes. Now, one thing I'm considering is that we do need a more efficient system to get people we essentially need to get them to the coal plant better. Tragically, it looks like no. Could I build a bridge? Especially no. Alright. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty steep incline. It seems like it might just be kind of pie in the sky. But I would like to actually have a proper flow in and flow out of people using my train station properly. And this is getting us in the right direction. I hope. Let's see how far back from here we can go. We can go all the way. There's something right there that happened. Oh shit. I can't see anything. Oh, well, yeah, that looks pretty bad. I don't know if it looks unfixable. May well be. Getting closer. I feel it. Oh, we did it. I'm a genius. I'm not a genius, but I did manage to succeed at something that was eluding me. All right. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make these one way. I'm just hoping that that increases the throughput successfully. And if it's helpful enough to the actual line, then I'll consider adding a third train, which should really help. Actually, probably unnecessary. But hopefully that'll speed things up here so that trains can actually get, you know, to this destination more effectively and actually properly supply these places with workers, which is going to be necessary if we want to actually produce enough coal for things like our fucking power plant. I've also seen that it's planned at some point to have a nuclear system added to the game. Oh shit, I didn't think about this, but apparently while I was planning with Rubles the rail lines, it actually constructed the rail lines that I had planned out earlier, so be careful with that. Well, I think that our production for the day has been relatively successful. It's still, what, early March? Late April. Oh, wow. It's late April, and currently, taking a look at the state of affairs, while we did just lose 21,000 in April because of our construction, you know, that's in the face of us also shipping out remarkably less power, oil, is that just, is the number going to climb? I think so. Yeah, it's just the day just started. That's all it's saying. However, let me check. Okay, that boy is full of oil. This one is doing what? There is your problem. What the fuck? Tell me he's not How did that happen? I'm going to make a wild guess and say it had something to do with that fuel station. Yeah. Yeah, it's got something to do with that fuel station. What is he... bothered by, though. Oh, shit. He's blocked off by the signals because it constructed all this. So now, technically, okay. First things first. Boom. 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 There we go. We are currently hemorrhaging money. Why are we hemorrhaging money? What are we spending it on? Fuel. Is that for him? Yeah. I'll be perfectly honest. The fuel stations in this game are responsible for 90% of your, like, transit system fuck-ups when it comes to trains. Because trains don't use the most logical one. They just use the one that's, like, closest within a certain point of their fuel, so they won't load up on fuel, you know, like, you can't tell them where to load up on fuel, so they won't do it before they reach a certain critical point, and after that critical point, like, they start thinking about where the nearest one is, and they'll just go there regardless. So you have all sorts of chaos happening on your system if you don't plan around this. Yeah, wait until loaded. The fuck do you think you're doing? I guess there's not a lot of fuel? No, there's shit tons of fuel. What the fuck is this guy doing? Stay in your lane, buddy. Alright, well, I think we've made a lot of successful progress today. We got to see 2 cool things added in the update. Passing, which I didn't think I needed, but it seems to have really helped out here in our industrial and farming sector. We've plotted out a whole new housing development, as well as... Shit, do they not have... They don't have power. I'll work on that. A whole new housing development, as well as an entire steel processing facility. How do you have power? Oh, they don't. Those are, like, construction lights? Oh, no, those are just, like, for the player. Oh. Visual symbols of what's going on. Okay. Well, that's wraps so far. Thank you for joining me, and good luck with all your workers and resources in your Soviet republics. Make sure to keep food stocked in your grocery stores, or I will personally send out Stalin. actually had to just make sure that I was successfully doing that. Yeah. Each one of them full to the brim. Even this one, which no one's going to. Not full to the brim. Also importing. We'll fix that next time. But thank you. And good luck with all your workers. And I already said that. Anyway, see you next time with the next episode of Workers and Resources. So shit. What? What was that? Oh. You know? That's exactly what that was. Okay. So, someone needed to go fucking fuel up. And decided they were going to cause pandemonium in the name of getting just a little bit of fucking fuel. And didn't take back any workers. But luckily we've nearly got enough coal to ship back down. We're really gonna need to step up this coal game, which means that we're definitely going to need to get a little village here. Anyway, thanks.